Hi, I'm Kirk Evans, president of U.S. LawShield. We're here today to talk about 4 new bills signed into law in the state of Colorado. So one of them is going to take effect immediately, and 2 of them are going to take effect a little bit down the road in 2023. And then the final one is going to be up to some regulators to work out the details. And so we're not going to have an update on that for several months down the road. But let's start with the first one. So the first one was an amendment to what they call their red flag laws or extreme risk protection orders. So that amendment is, in the past, there were 3 groups of people that could file for a red flag law or extreme risk protective order. And those were family members, domestic partners, and members of law enforcement. So this new law adds 3 new groups of people. Those are folks in the education system, healthcare professionals, and medical professionals. Now, these bills are extremely long. There's details, exceptions, so I don't want to get into all of that. But those are the 3 general groups of folks who have been added to the people who can seek or ask for an extreme risk protection order. Now, let me give you one proviso. The wording of the statute is very confusing. In the wording, it says that a community member can seek an extreme risk protection order or a red flag order. However, that doesn't mean anybody in the community. Community member is defined to include certain educators and certain mental health care professionals. So don't get distracted by the word community member. All right, so the next one is that the lawful age to sell or purchase a firearm has been raised from 18 to 21. Now, the key here is it's just purchasing, transferring, selling the firearm. The new law does not say anything about possession of the firearm. So if you're otherwise lawfully able to possess a firearm in Colorado, you can still do so at age 18, 19, or 20, but trying to purchase or sell that firearm before the age of 21 will result in a criminal violation if you are found to have committed that crime. All right, the third one is what they're calling a 3-day waiting period for the purchase of a firearm. And what that means is the new statute says that you cannot walk into a gun store, purchase a firearm, and receive delivery of that firearm until the later of these 2 events. The later of either the initiation of the background check plus 3 days. So 3 days after the initiation of the background check, or actual approval from the Bureau for the purchase of that firearm. So you will not be able to walk into a gun store in Colorado, buy a gun, and have immediate delivery until the later of those 2 time periods. That law is set to go into effect October 1st, 2023, or it could be placed on the general ballot for a vote in November. We don't know. We don't know if that's going to happen. In addition, as we'll talk about later, these are all very likely to be challenged under the Supreme Court's Brune decision. So there may very well be injunctions. There may very well be stays. Other courts have ruled that denying someone 18 to 21 the right to a firearm for self-defense is unconstitutional under the Brune decision. So be on the look for injunctions, stays, appeals, things like that. We'll try to keep you updated on how the law may impact you in Colorado. The fourth one is similar to laws passed in some other states, and that is that expands the right of folks to file lawsuits against companies and businesses in the firearms industry. And it's for things such as not maintaining proper controls over their production, manufacturing, and delivery of firearms throughout that chain of commerce in the firearms industry. Now, we don't know the details on that law. That is going to be subject to the regulators developing what they call the standards and reasonable levels of care for folks in the industry. So later on down the road, we may have more details on the types of things that could violate those laws and the types of lawsuits that may be able to be brought. But as I mentioned earlier, all of these are very, very likely to be challenged under the Supreme Court's Brune decision from last summer involving New York gun laws. And it's very, very likely we're going to see some injunctions prohibiting these new laws from going into effect. But then on top of that, very likely that we're going to see stays issued preventing those injunctions. And then all of this is going to go up to the Court of Appeals. So now the good news for U.S. LawShield members, as a part of your membership at no additional cost to you, you can call in and ask to speak to an independent program attorney. and speak directly with a Colorado attorney who can help you through any questions you may have on these new laws about wanting to purchase a gun you might own, a son or daughter or grandchild who may have a firearm and might be between the ages of 18 and 21, what you need to do to stay on the right side of the law. Call in, ask to speak to that independent program attorney, and get all your questions answered. Thanks very much.